Let's make pumpkin scones together. We have 2 cups of flour. You can use half whole wheat flour, half regular flour. Because I'm using just all-purpose flour, I added a little bit more ground flax. Add our baking powder. Now, sometimes baking powder can be lumpy. See those little bits on the bottom? So I like using a sieve. I'm also gonna add a little bit of salt. Baking soda, again, I'm gonna put through my sieve. And I'm gonna add the pumpkin seasoning. Stir it all together. Ooh, smells delicious already. Add my orange zest. I'm also going to add my sugar and make sure it gets mixed nicely. Now I'm gonna add 6 tablespoons of cold butter to the mix. You can use pastry blender, you can use 2 knives, or you can use your hands to work in the butter. And I'm just making little crumbles, squeezing it through my thumb, working rather quickly, not wanting to get the butter to be too soft, and just little flakes, trying to cover all the flour but not overwork it. So it's a little bit of a fine balance. All right, I'm gonna leave it at that, put that aside, and now we're gonna work on the wet ingredients. 1 egg, a 1/4 cup of cream, 1/2 cup of squash puree, and a tablespoon of orange concentrate. Now I always keep some orange concentrate in the freezer just for these kinds of occasions. It is a great way to add flavor to recipes. So here we go. Mix that all. Now I want to have my oven preheated to 400 degrees. Okay, and now I pour my wet ingredients into the dry and mix it all together. Now I'm going to pour it out onto, or lift it out onto a floured surface. Sometimes you may need to add a little bit more cream. Sometimes you may need to flour your board or your counter a little bit more so that it's not quite so sticky. And there we go, it's coming together to shape a nice loaf. So I'm going to stretch it out a little bit more. This time I'm gonna aim for 12 pieces. So I'm gonna cut it in half and cut each one of these in half again. So, and cut them in 3s. And then transfer them to my baking sheet. And there we go. We're gonna pop these beauties into the oven at 400 degrees for about 12 to 14 minutes. That's our scones. Oh yeah, just the way we like them. There's a little bit of golden brown on top of them, but they smell delicious. I love the shape. They puffed up beautifully. Put them on our cooling rack. Let's let these cool and then we'll be back for the drizzle. I'm just crushing the pumpkin seeds or pepitas for the top of our scones. Now let's prep the icing. I've got 1 cup of icing sugar. I have 1 tablespoon of orange juice concentrate. And I'm going to add to that, to start, 1 tablespoon of water. I may add more. And as I'm stirring that in, I'm also going to add my pie spice and stir it all up. Still pretty thick. I'm gonna add just a touch of more water. Ooh, that's nice and drizzly. Let's do it. I have my scones all lined up. I have my pumpkin seeds ready to go. My drizzle is nice and drizzly, so I'm set to go. Pepita seeds on there right away. Yum. Do the next row. And let's get that final row. Ooh, it's gonna be so good. All right, there we go. Yummers.